Hello, and welcome to the Texas Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you with us this evening. We have some fantastic schools that are going to share great information with you. My name is Danielle, and I will be your facilitator throughout the event. I want to share a few housekeeping items with you. Your camera and microphone are off, so our presenters cannot see or hear you. You will be able to use the Q&A button to ask questions at any time during tonight's event. Want to remind you that you can sign up for additional sessions on the website, so check out the schedule on the website. And this recording will be available at strivescan.com/Texas. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our first presenter tonight, Adelphi University.
I will go ahead and share my screen. All right. So hi everyone, my name is Lorenzo and my pronouns are he, him, and I work in the admissions office here at Adelphi. And so today I'm going to spend a few minutes introducing you to our dynamic and above all inclusive community. So we are located in Garden City, New York, and our campus is home to 5,300 undergraduate students. And as I mentioned, inclusion is really central to our community, which is why our students hail from 43 states and 64 countries. About 44% of students identify as people of color. We also have an interfaith center on campus that welcomes students of all religions. And we also have gender-neutral bathroom and housing options so that all students feel safe and supported. Inside the classroom, we have an average class size of 21 students, and we have a student to faculty ratio of 10:1. So we're a medium-sized university where students don't feel like they're getting lost in the crowd. And one of the last things that I wanted to highlight on this slide is our outcomes for graduates, because with the support of our Center for Career and Professional Development, 95% of Adelphi graduates are employed or in graduate school within 6 months of graduation. And students at Adelphi have over 50 majors and over 40 minors to choose from, and they're housed within several different schools within the university. So first, we have the College of Arts and Sciences, which is home to the greatest variety of departments, and is also home to our highly regarded performing and visual arts majors. Next, we have our College of Education and Health Sciences. So if you're interested in becoming a teacher, this could be a really great option, as it's home to our Scholar Teacher Education Program, or STEP, as we like to call it, which allows students to obtain a bachelor's and then a master's in education in just 5 years. Next, we have the College of Nursing and Public Health. And traditionally, our nursing major has been a direct entry program. So that means you're a nursing major from day one. And then next, we have the School of Psychology, which offers tracks in general psychology and neuroscience. And then we have the School of Business, where students actually have the opportunity to receive an MBA in just 1 additional year after their bachelor's. And finally, we have the School of Social Work, which is highly ranked and awards degrees up to the doctorate level. So on top of our academic programs, we also have a number of signature and support programs. So first, we have our Honors College, which is a selective program that's geared towards exceptionally high achieving students who are looking for additional rigor in their college coursework. And next, we have the Livermore Global Scholars Program, which is another selective program, but this one is geared more towards students who are interested in social justice and civic engagement. And then we have our 4+1 programs, which allows students to obtain a bachelor's and a master's in just 5 years. And the 4+1 opportunities are in education, psychology, social work, environmental science, computer science, and several others. And we also have a few support programs on campus. So first, we have Bridges to Adelphi and our Learning Resources program. So Bridges is geared towards students on the autism spectrum, and the Learning Resources program is geared towards students with documented learning disabilities and or ADHD. And both programs are fee-for-service programs that provide academic, social, and vocational support to students. And then we have the General Studies Learning Community, which is free for any student who needs it, and it provides a tailored 13-credit academic course schedule to help ease the transition into college. And then we have the Student Access Office, which is also free for any student who needs it, and it provides students with accessibility accommodations that they might need to ensure their success on campus. And in addition to the academic offerings that Adelphi itself offers, we also have numerous joint degree opportunities with medical schools, law schools, dental schools, and several other schools that you can see here. So what makes Adelphi unique? First, hands-on experiences are really critical to the undergraduate experience. So in our business school, students have the opportunity to trade real stocks in real time in our dedicated trading room right on campus. And in our nursing school, students are working in our state-of-the-art labs with state-of-the-art mannequins that breathe, bleed, sweat, give birth, and a lot more. And Adelphi students also have over 90 clubs and student organizations to choose from. And we also have 23 Division II varsity sports teams, in addition to club and intramural sports. And what students also really love about Adelphi is our location, because we have a serene campus setting where you'll often come across bunnies like the ones that you see in the picture here. But we're also just 3 blocks from a train station that can get students to the heart of Manhattan in just about 40 minutes. So students at Adelphi really have the opportunity to experience the best of both worlds. And one of the newest spaces on campus that I wanted to quickly highlight is our renovated University Center, which features outdoor amphitheater seating, expanded dining options, an art gallery, and a full-size Starbucks. So once you're ready to apply, we ask that you submit a completed Adelphi application or the Common App, an official high school transcript, at least 1 teacher recommendation, a personal statement. You can submit SAT or ACT scores if you feel they'll positively reflect your abilities, but please keep in mind we are test optional this year and your application will not be negatively impacted if you choose not to submit scores. And then once you've submitted your application, we do practice rolling admissions, which means we don't release all of our decisions on a single day, but instead reach out to you individually, typically just a few weeks after you've applied. And on this slide, you can also see a few of our deadlines for your upcoming year. And it's also really important to us to find ways to make a private education at Adelphi affordable for students who wish to attend. And tuition at the university is about $42,000 a year, and 87% of students are receiving a university scholarship. And the average scholarship that students receive is about $22,400. And students are automatically considered for academic scholarships once they apply. No additional documentation is required. And for more information on financial aid, I encourage you to visit our website, where you'll also find a net price calculator to help estimate the cost of attendance for you. So that's a very brief overview of Adelphi, and there's definitely a lot more to learn. So if anyone has any questions about Adelphi, please feel free to let me know. Or you can reach out to us at admissions@adelphi.edu, and we'll be happy to help. Thank you.
Okay, great. I'm just hopping in. Our former facilitator just lost power, and I'm not quite sure of who is next. If you are next, if you could tell me, Christina. Great, thank you so much, because it was very last minute, so I just popped in here. So if you could go ahead and get started, that would be fantastic. And I'm going to get myself up to speed here. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Christiana Friedrichsen. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm one of our admissions counselors here at Binghamton University. This first slide is one of my favorite photos of Binghamton. Gorgeous, of course, but really gives you a beautiful kind of central view of campus, kind of seeing what's around, as well as in our surrounding area in the background there with the rolling hills and our city of Binghamton not too far away. As you can see by the very first text there, we are the #1 public university in New York for a lot of different reasons, including our retention and selectivity. 92% of our students, first-year students, actually come back for that second year. So our students love us, and we'll talk about some of those reasons why. We are also part of the SUNY system, the State University of New York system, and we have about 14,000 undergrads, making us kind of a mid-size campus. So you can see a little bit of where we are located right there on the border of Pennsylvania and New York, about 3 hours from New York City. We are in a really central location, perfect to look at different career options, especially in the Northeast, different internship opportunities, and exploring really close to some of those other metro areas and states. This is just a really brief snapshot of some of our academics and the 6 different schools that we offer. We have our Harper College of Arts and Sciences. So this is our largest school with a lot of different things in there. Perfect for students who have no idea what they want to study, or if you have a lot of different interests, really easy to tack on another major or maybe a minor. So lots of options. Our College of Community and Public Affairs is perfect for students who want to help people. You'll find social work as well as human development within that school. Our Decker College of Nursing and Health Sciences, our nursing school, we have our clinicals in the area as well as in surrounding areas like Syracuse and New York, as well as a brand new nursing building about 10 minutes from campus. And we are looking to add some health science programs, including our brand new speech and hearing minor. Our School of Management is our business program. So we have business administration and accounting. You'll find finance, entrepreneurship, management, and more. Our Thomas J. Watson College of Engineering and Applied Science. All hands-on experiences there. You'll find fields in biomedical, mechanical, industrial, computer, and electrical engineering, as well as computer science. And our School of Pharmacy. So that is located off campus about 10 minutes, right across from our nursing building. So we kind of have a really nice health science center down there with direct transportation to take you to both of those campuses. As students who want to go into pharmacy, we usually start in our Harper College of Arts and Sciences and then work with the pre-pharmacy advisors to make their way into that program. We do have over 50 accelerated degree programs for students to get their bachelor's and their master's in 5 years instead of 6, saving time, saving money. And we do have our pre-health, pre-med, pre-law, and an education pathway. So a little bit of everything. These 4 areas popping up here are areas that we think are really valuable to our students and help to highlight some of the things that we offer for our students, including research. We are a top tier research institution, so all of your faculty members are doing research. We also have our undergraduate research center and some first year research programs specifically for first years to get that hands-on research experience as soon as they are on campus. You can see some of the other really great opportunities for our students to have experiences inside and outside of the classroom. A little bit about our student life. We have over 450 different clubs and organizations. All of them are student run. So lots of opportunities to create a club or be the leader of a club. We have Division I sports as well as club and intramural sports. We do have art galleries, different theaters on campus with student performances as well as guest performers. We do have our rec facilities and over 100 group fitness classes every week, so lots of opportunities to stay moving. And we are a really inclusive and welcoming, diverse campus with students and faculty from all 50 states and over 100 different countries. So you're really going to get that worldwide view without ever leaving campus. A little bit about how we house our students. We have our residential communities. So in each community, you'll find about 4 to 5 different buildings. Some are closer together, some are farther apart. They all have different styles, personalities, traditions. It makes it for a really fun and unique experience to live on campus. We also have learning communities, so you can learn and live with other students who have the same interests as you. Things like the political science learning community and entrepreneurship community, giving you a little bit more experience in those areas. A little bit about our surrounding area. We have a lot of different cities not too far from us, but the city of Binghamton is about 3 miles from campus. Lots of different things to do there, different restaurants and shops. A lot of them are alumni owned, which is extra special. Walking trails, food festivals, art festivals, music festivals, and a lot of different sports as well. So there's always something going on in the city of Binghamton and beyond. So to learn a little bit more about Binghamton, you can go to our visit.binghamton.edu. There, we do have some virtual open houses happening next month in November, as well as some in-person opportunities, open house, as well as tours. And you can find my contact information there at the bottom. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you sometime on campus.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Merrimack College.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Just give me 1 second here to get all settled. Okay, so hello, everybody. My name is Dowdy Torres. I use he, him pronouns. I'm Senior Assistant Director of Admission at Merrimack. And I know we only have about 5 minutes, so we're just going to give you just a general overview about Merrimack, things that we have to offer, and kind of giving you more a sense of the type of community that we are at our institution. So at Merrimack currently, we have about 4,000 undergraduate students, with graduate students we're hovering a little bit over 5,000. We have over 100 different academic programs to choose from. And we have about 60 clubs and organizations. We're about 25 miles north of Boston. Right now, our student population comes from over 30 states and about 40 different countries. So we're truly becoming a global powerhouse in the sense that you can have a student that comes from down the street or a student that comes from the other side of the globe. And that's what makes Merrimack's campus very unique in that sense. Right now, our population, as you can see, we have about 100 different majors to choose from. So in regards to some of our most popular ones, you have business, which is extremely popular with us. Then you have health sciences, liberal arts, science and engineering, and then the School of Education and Social Policy, which I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But I would like to show just some of the perks that we have on our campus where, you know, we do a lot with our campus community. Diversity, equity, and inclusion has been at the forefront of the institution. That's why we've seen a big increase in the number of students that not just come from our local area, but that come from the outside of the New England area. Currently, right now, our student to faculty ratio is 16:1. Our average classroom size is 22. And our population, 73% of our students do live on campus. And right now, we're about 25% diversity on our campus. That shows you that we've done strives to make sure that we're bringing down barriers to helping that population to make sure that we're as diverse as possible on our campus community. We're located about 30 minutes north of Boston. And as you can see here, these are just some of the many areas that our students do go to visit on current weekends and different type of events that we do on campus. And they kind of show you exactly where we are and where we're located. In regards to academics, we are divided among 5 different schools. The Girard School of Business has about 12 different concentrations. And as you can see here, these are the concentrations that our students are able to choose from. Then we have the School of Education and Social Policy, which gives you just more information about criminal justice, human development, our STEM education, and then education. We do have also a 5-year master's program where our students are able to complete their master's within the next 5th year. Then you have the School of Health Science, which has become extremely popular with us since we just opened our new nursing program about 3 years ago. Our nursing program is state of the art, and a lot of our facilities are the same way as to, again, we want to make sure that we're accommodating the growth within those programs. And in order to make sure that our students are doing as best as they can in the classroom, we want to make sure that we're helping them as much as we can outside the classroom. Also within the School of Science and Engineering, these are some of the new our programs. Some new majors that we added this year were health science and neuroscience. As again, we're an institution that's always looking forward to adding new programs and making sure that we're looking at what are some of the new and exciting things that are happening in the world and what are some of the jobs that we see growing in the next couple of years. So we always keep on adding those programs. And then here you have some of things that we have in our School of Liberal Arts, as well as some of our minors. So at Merrimack, we have over 100 different programs to choose from. So there's a variation depending on what students ultimately want to do on our campus. In regards to applying, we do best we can to make sure that we're helping all students. So we're on Common App and we have our own application. Either or is completely fine. We require a high school transcript, secondary school report, and just letters of recommendation. We are test optional, and we also don't require test scores. The reason for that is because, as we know, sometimes test scores, not all students do well in tests. So we want to make sure that we're allowing any student that wants to apply to Merrimack the opportunity to see if Merrimack is a viable option. That's why we have a very holistic approach on how we review the application. So we look at a variety of things before we ultimately make a decision. Also, any student that gets accepted will automatically qualify for our merit scholarship. So 99% of our students receive some form of merit scholarship. And again, that's going to be purely based on your GPA. So I always say the higher the GPA, the more funds you'll be able to get. Last year, that was equivalent to about $85 million. And with us, all we require is the FAFSA form. Obviously, every single parent is different. Every single situation is different. That's why we try to focus on making sure that we're helping each and every student throughout the process as they get to know a little bit more about us in the process. And as you can see there, our tuition is about $46,000 a year. On average, students pay only about $22,000. And again, those are just average numbers that you see there on your screen. Every single student is different. Every single application is different. So that's why we treat every single student different. you can see here, we have some questions. If anybody have any questions, you can definitely hear our contact information. And I always like to end the last minute is just talking about our campus per se. You know, our beautiful campus is located about 30 miles away from Boston. And as you can see there, we have added a lot of new buildings in place. We've added a lot to make sure that we're helping accommodate the growth that we've had over the last 10 years as one of the fastest growing institutions. We've been doing relatively well with adding new programs and adding new majors and having over 65 clubs and organizations. We're also a Division I institution, so there's always something going on campus, either at the Division I club sports or intramural sports. So that's everything that I have to say. And if you have any questions, here's our contact information. And I would say if you have any questions, just let us know. Thank you. And I'll pass it along to the next person.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. Our next presenter is Simmons University.
All right. Let me share my screen. All right. So I'm going to be talking about Simmons University. My name is Denise West Rosales. I use she, her pronouns. And I'm one of the senior assistant directors of undergraduate admission, diversity, recruitment, access, and inclusion is my full title. Very long, but very important. So we're going to go right into who we are at Simmons. So Simmons is located in Boston, Massachusetts, actually right down the street from Fenway Park. So we're in the Fenway area. We are a fairly small school, so about 1,800 undergraduate students. In addition to that, we are a women-centered institution. So students that identify as women, trans, non-binary, gender fluid can attend our undergraduate programs. But our graduate programs are co-ed, just so you are aware of that. We do offer 60 plus major in programs and 70 plus organizations and clubs. And I will show you what our programs are in just a bit. So this is a map of exactly where we're located in Boston. Boston's a big city, so I wanted to give everyone kind of a view of where exactly we are. And Boston is known to be just a college town. There's about 300,000 college students just in the Boston area. But where we are specifically, like I said, we're right down the street from Fenway Park, which is where the Boston Red Sox play. If you're not a big baseball fan like myself, Fenway Park is also used as a venue for other things like concerts. So most recently, Maroon 5 has performed there, the Jonas Brothers, Lady Gaga, among other individuals. And they also use it for seasonal events. So they've had like a Spooky World Horror Fest hosted there during Halloween time before. That's just something to add to, the area. And we're also right next to the Longwood Medical area in general. So that has some of the best hospitals in the country. So Boston Children's, Brigham and Women's, Beth Israel, just to name a few. And because we're so close to them, we actually have very great partnerships with these hospitals too. So we have students that will do clinical rotations, internship, or research at these hospitals. And many of them actually end up working there after they graduate as well. So again, our network is really is huge, but especially in this area in itself. We're also right next to some museums like the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. There's actually a Netflix show about basically this was the location of one of I guess the most expensive art heists that took place in the United States, just a fun fact. And we're also right next to the Museum of Fine Arts. And also everything on this map is accessible by our public transit system, which we call the T. So that also includes the airport. So if you wanted to, avoid taking an Uber, or you just wanted to take a train to make your trip as easy as possible, we do have students that end up taking the train or bus to the airport. And some of them actually like that option better versus, getting in a car. And, just having a car in Boston sometimes this isn't so feasible. But like I said, there's a lot to do in the area, as you can imagine. So although we are a small school, we have that big, big school feel because we're in a city. These are the majors and programs that we offer. We do have a few direct entry programs. So these are just programs you need to indicate interest in your first year, or basically when you're applying with us in your application. So these include nursing, physical therapy, and our accelerated programs on the right side of the screen, except for the 4+1 programs. Those are programs you wouldn't apply for until your sophomore year at Simmons. So our accelerated programs are programs where you can receive an additional degree that includes your bachelor's and then something else. So depending on the program, it could be your doctorate, it could be another bachelor's or a master's degree. So this is definitely some, for students that are interested, for example, in physical therapy, in order to practice, you do need a doctorate in physical therapy. And so some of them choose the 3+3 option, where they can just receive their doctorate and bachelor's within 6 years. And these are just money saving programs, because if you kind of wait, do your 4 years and then do another 3 to 4 years, if you think and do the math, that's a lot of money. So just giving students options, I think, is really great. And we are seeing students getting a lot of interest in these accelerated programs. So no matter what program or major you choose, you're going to do some sort of real world learning. So you're going to do some sort of internship, research, independent study, clinical, for a number of reasons, but we want our students to kind of use what they're learning in the classroom in the real world. And that the only way to do that is through an internship, really interacting with these different careers once you're kind of exploring it. We also want students to be open to, you know, what they're interested in. We have students that are interested in sustainability, but also interested in art, and they want to find ways to combine that. Internships are great ways to find ways in which you can combine these passions and interests. And we are pushing students to really explore their options, but also just start adding to the resume early. So I did mention we are a women-centered institution. So students, I got a lot of questions about this, which is totally fine. But basically, I always share that if not all of the majors that I showed you are in male-dominated fields. And that's significant because I think it's important to name that there are barriers in place for marginalized communities, and our institution is open to students who hold these marginalized identities, like women of color, like trans, non-binary folks. And so it's important to also talk about what we can do to feel empowered and confident in our roles outside of Simmons and in our careers, and why those barriers exist. And I think students that end up leaving Simmons really get a hold of this and want to become leaders and are ready to be in the workforce and advocates for other people like themselves, or people who are also coming from marginalized communities. And it's important to recognize and name that. That's all I had. This is our social media plug. If you're interested in following us on Instagram or Facebook, anything like that. But thank you so much. And if you have any questions, I will throw my email in the chat.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have St. John's College.
All right, hello, Texans. Let's see. My name is Randall Hollinsby. I'm an Associate Director of Admissions at St. John's College and the Director of International Recruiting. St. John's College is one college with 2 campuses. Hello, there you go. There's our Annapolis campus. We've been in Annapolis, Maryland since 1696. We're almost 100 years older than the nation. We are also located in Santa Fe, New Mexico, so we're neighbors to Texas. I can see my office in this picture, right there in the corner of that building. The college is best known for our Great Books program, which for Texans, think of it as being a lot like the Plan 2 program. We have only one major, which we do exceptionally well. We're liberal arts majors. All of our classes are discussion classes, and we only study primary sources, no textbooks at all. If you're looking for a small college experience, St. John's could be perfect for you. It looks pretty perfect in this picture. We always start the year with 450 undergraduates on each campus. Our average class size is 10, and we have a 7-to-1 student to teacher ratio. We are roughly 50-50 female male. 20% of our students are international, and another 20% identify as students of color. In 2019, thanks to generous donations from our alumni, we cut our tuition from $52,000 to $35,000, and we haven't raised it since then. On top of that, we offer merit scholarships and generous financial aid. And what do our students do after St. John's with our unusual education? 32% will go into education, 25% into business and media, 10% into STEM. The other 33% go into a wide range of careers. I went to St. John's, graduated in '88, and that's why I'm an architect now. We send about 12% of our graduates into law and nearly that many into medicine. That's 20 times the national average. And in fact, since 2012, everyone who applied to law school from St. John's was accepted. The medicine rate of acceptance is about the same. I encourage you to read about us at the Princeton Review, US News and World Report, and Forbes.com. Absolutely do not take my word for how great St. John's is. We are proud members of the Colleges That Change Lives group, and you can look into them online on your own time. For fun, we lean toward individual sports. We are not a D1, D2, D3, anything like that. But if you are interested in things like fencing, crew and sailing, rock climbing, skiing, cycling, chess or Go, video, board games, and of course, we continue our dominance of collegiate croquet. We are on the Common App and Coalition app. We have no application fee, and we're now taking applications for spring and fall of 2022. We have been test optional for more than 40 years, and we are a first-gen forward school. Here's my contact information, and I wish you a very nice day.
Thank you. All right, we will now hear from our last presenter of the evening, University of Massachusetts, Lowell.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. My name is Alyssa DeMarco. I'm one of the freshman admissions counselors at the University of Massachusetts Lowell, lovingly known as UMass Lowell. So I'll jump right in here. So UMass Lowell, we're located in the city of Lowell, Massachusetts. It's about 110,000 people, about 25 miles northwest of Boston. We're in a really great location. You can drive about an hour and be all over New England. We have about 11,400 undergraduate students, and they are coming from all 50 states and 126 different countries. So we have a really great melting pot campus of students from all over the world. About half of our classes have fewer than 25 students or so, and our student to faculty ratio is 17-to-1. We offer a ton of majors. We have over 120 undergraduate majors to choose from. So there's really something for everybody, a great variety of courses and programs to choose from. We have 5 academic colleges. So there's engineering, sciences, health sciences, business, and fine arts, humanities, and social sciences. We do offer over 70 different graduate options as well. Just about every one of our undergraduate programs has the option to stay for a 5th year. So you can do a 4+1 master's degree with us. It's a great opportunity if you're looking to get a master's degree in the next few years of graduating. We do have housing available all 4 years on campus. In any given year, about 4,500 students are living directly on campus. We have a great shuttle system to get all of our students around, but we also allow any student of any standing to have a car on campus. Some fun things around campus: we are Division I in sports. We have 16 varsity teams. We also have over 30 club and intramural teams. We have over 50 music and ensembles. We have a great theater production once every semester. Hockey is our big team on campus, in case anybody is a fan. We are huge at prioritizing experiential learning on campus. So we have co-ops available for our business, engineering, and science students. So it's like a full-time work opportunity. We have internships very readily available for students of any major. In a typical year, we offer over 300 opportunities for students to study abroad. We definitely like to prioritize that for students if that's what you're interested in. So our fantastic study abroad staff will work right with you to make sure that you're taking some classes that will transfer back into your program. We also really prioritize our industry partnerships. So especially with our internships and co-ops, we have really built up our relationships with labs and companies and community organizations around Lowell, around Boston in the last few years. So if you're interested in a co-op or an internship or research opportunities, there's plenty happening on campus and easily accessible off campus as well. For clinicals and practicums, any kind of service learning, like I said, we have a great location. We're a pretty easy trip into Boston, and the Merrimack Valley area of Massachusetts and up into New Hampshire is a very advantageous area if you're looking to get involved in different areas of business, different areas of science research as well. So for our clinical rotations for our nursing students, you can get right into Boston, go into those world-class hospitals. We also utilize some health facilities right in Lowell. Any kind of student teaching you can do right in Lowell. We have some great service learning partnerships with community organizations as well. And we do have difference makers on campus. That is kind of like our own Shark Tank. So students will come up with these unbelievable, really incredible plans to somehow better something, make something more convenient, fix a problem. And they present those plans to a panel of judges, and they then are awarded some grant money to make those projects come to life. They always come up with the most unbelievable products and services. It's just a really great show of what our students are capable of. Some averages here for you to consider. So for the class that entered in the fall of 2020, their average GPA was about a 3.6, their average SAT was about a 1240, and their average ACT was about a 27. What we're really looking for students, we like to see a strong B average, so about a 3.0 or higher. We have been test optional since 2015, so there's absolutely no need to send in your SAT or ACT scores. As many have said before me, not every student is a great test taker. So if you take the test, you don't love it, definitely don't send it in. There's no need. If you are sending in test scores though, for an SAT, we like to see a minimum of about 1100 and about a minimum 22 for ACT, something to keep in mind. We do accept 3 applications. We're on the Common App, the Coalition app, and our own UMass Lowell app. Whatever is most convenient for you. Definitely the Common App and Coalition app are great if you're applying to a few schools at once. We have 3 deadlines to keep in mind. The first one coming up just next week. I can't believe it. November 5th is our first early action deadline. January 5th is our second early action deadline. And then February 5th is our regular decision deadline. We do award a lot of our merit awards to our early action applicants. Something to keep in mind is it is not early decision, it's not binding, it's just a chance for you to apply early and hear back early from us. We do give out merit awards. That will come shortly after your acceptance letter. We have a great honors college as well, and if you're being offered a seat, it's invitation only. That will be included right within your acceptance letter. If you are able and willing to send in the FAFSA to us, keep in mind it's due March 1st. That will be your best chance at your most robust financial aid package. Let's see. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send anything through the question and answer section or the chat, or send us an email at admissions@uml.edu. Thanks so much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing great information about your institutions. We are now going to transition into the questions session. So we're going to bring all of our college representatives back to the screen, and we will have a moment to just share some advice with our attendees as they are approaching or continuing through this process. So the very first question is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we'll start with Adelphi.
Sure, so I'll get us started. So actually, when you're going through the process, you're also applying, and there are a lot of different terms and a lot of components of the application, and just which ones to focus on, which ones matter, and how do you go about them. So one of my favorite parts of the application is the personal statement. And it's one of the parts of the application that students tend to find somewhat daunting. And so what I encourage students to do is to think about how the details in their favorite book, for example, paints a picture as they read. And then as they write their personal statement, try to paint your own picture to really show us who you are. And when you apply to Adelphi, there are prompts on the application that you can use. You can write about almost anything, so you have a lot of flexibility to tell your story. And we're really excited to learn about who you are.
My piece of advice would be to ask questions. As Lorenzo said from Adelphi, there are a lot of different terms and a lot of things that you may not understand as part of the application process, and going through just different colleges, and we shorten things all the time, and different programs. So make sure you're asking those questions. You don't want to end up missing out on something, or signing up for something you are not interested in. So that's what we all are here for, are to help answer those questions.
Yes, and I would say, to kind of piggyback on what my colleagues are saying, is taking an opportunity to visit schools. I think that once you're starting the process of, creating your list and seeing which one is the best fit, you have to visit the schools. And it's kind of weird to explain. You're going to get like this gut feeling, and you're going to know it's going to be the right fit for you or not. And that's why I always encourage students to take advantage of a lot of visiting opportunities that all of our institutions have. It could be virtual or it could be on campus. So you can kind of get a sense if it's going to be the right fit for you or not.
I think I would say also just be honest with yourself. If something, like, we want you to feel that the school that you are going to is somewhere where you really want to go to. And so sometimes, you'll get, advice from family members or from friends, and it's really your journey, and this is your life. And so if something feels right to you, if it feels like a good school, go for it. And like some of our colleagues have said, visit, ask questions, but just be honest with yourself. And if you need more information on something, don't be afraid to connect with your admission counselor. That's what we're here for. That's what we're doing. We're here to answer questions and such. So that would be what I would say.
So I'm going to agree with Mr. Torres. If you can, visit campus. If you can't, do our online seminars, do our online Ask Me Anything meetings, do all of that kind of stuff, because there's a secret category in the admissions process called demonstrated interest. And we all know exactly who came to campus and who came to our seminars and who came to all of those things. And demonstrating interest in the college or university matters a ton.
All right, thank you all so much for sharing that information. Let's move on to our next question. It's actually going to be our last question. And this is a favorite for college representatives to really brag about their school, but I'm going to ask you to only share one thing you want students to remember about your school.
Okay, yeah, difficult question. I feel like there's a lot of things I love about the school. But as I mentioned before, Adelphi is really great if you want to get the best of both worlds in terms of campus setting and experience. So if you want the traditional campus setting, then we have a beautiful, serene campus that's actually a registered arboretum, which is basically a tree museum. But we're also just 3 blocks from a train station that can get you to the heart of the city, where I actually live, in less than an hour. So students take advantage of the museums, the Broadway shows, often at a discount through Adelphi. and even internships throughout the year. And the access that students have is not just for fun, but even supplements their coursework in everything from nursing to dance. So there are a lot of opportunities that students have right here on campus and just outside of it.
So really quick, I would say the one thing that I want students to know about Binghamton is we are a top tier research institution. And I know a lot of students think research, they think lab coats and test tubes, but no matter what your major is, whether that's art, cinema, theater, languages, there are research opportunities even as starting as an undergrad. So which is really valuable for any career field that you're going into.
And for me, I would say one thing that I want students to remember is the type of community that Merrimack is, with having over 4,000 students from all over the globe and becoming the global powerhouse. The Merrimack that is today is not the Merrimack that's going to be 10 years from now, and we're really excited to see what's going to happen in the next coming years for our institution. And we really enjoy one of our very big signature events is homecoming, and I would say that that's like the one thing that everybody remembers about our institution.
I guess I'll use a fun one, is that our mascot is a shark, and that shark is named Stormy. And they are non-binary, which is really great. It's really also funny because what we do is we like to use play on words since our mascot is a shark. So if you go to like our open houses, accepted students day, you'll see that like the title of the workshops are very much like aquatic themed. So it'll be like dive right in or take a swim with some sharks, things like that. So I guess that's my fun one.
So I know college feels like a really big deal at the moment, and it's really stressful, but in the big picture, it's a stepping stone to the rest of your life. And St. John's wants you to come and have a great time at college, but not too great, because we are preparing you for the rest of your life. Almost a quarter of our graduates will go into professional careers: law, medicine, architecture, engineering, or accounting. And a lot of those folks have great lives. I guess I'm one, so there it is.
I'll jump on the end here. I think something great about UMass Lowell is that, as I mentioned, we have over 120 different majors. We have students coming from all over the country and the world. There's really something for everyone on our campus. There's a club for you, there's a sport for you, there's courses that you want to take. It's easy to double major, take on a minor, stay for a master's. There's just so many opportunities. We are a public research university as well, so there's tons of projects to get involved in. And our students who come to our campus come to UMass Lowell because they want to take advantage of those things. So you'll be in very good company with our student body.
Thank you. Some great facts about your school. All right, thank you all so much for being here tonight. This does bring us to the end of our webinar. Want to remind our attendees that as you close out of the session, you will receive a very quick survey, just 5 questions. We appreciate the feedback that you will offer us. Want to also encourage you to check out the rest of the sessions that are happening tonight. You can find that schedule on the website. And remember, this recording will be available at strivescan.com/Texas. Thank you all. Thank you to our college representatives, and everyone have a great evening.
All right, Danielle.